Let's pretty the scene up. I hope you're ready. Here's the climax. Grim Knight.
Boost gauge expanded.
The end is nigh. Let it stand. Ishtati. Aurum. Shangri-La.
Payback time.
Should have known.
Nice. Moving on up.
I can do even better and stronger than ever. Stats upgraded.
I'm glad you were able to recover that emotion. Rest well. I sincerely hope that one day you can begin to take even more steps forward.
That's wishful thinking, I'm afraid. I cannot imagine that day will ever come.
It's a pity that she only regained some of her humanity at the end. She was even a little charming. Well, this is it. It's about time I returned to my cell. Frankly, I don't give a rat's ass about Melchior. But do take care of the boss for me, if you would. Consider that a request. From me to you.
What?
You're...
Willingly, I'll give you my full guarantee that I'll get the job done.
Not like I'm in a position to refuse. Well, I can settle for that, I suppose. You watch your back while you're fighting him.
Where does she get off ordering us around? She has no right to be making demands.
Sup? Glad you could make it.
If you're here, then I can only assume Viola and Olympia have fallen.
Well, this is just great. Do we really gotta deal with both of you at the same time?
So the old tin can got revived and the soldier...
Nope, though it's not like we'd be able to talk them down anyway.
You got that right, kiddo. Thanks to the fangs of Rahu, I lived way longer than any human should have. I was ready to accept the sweet kiss of death by the end of my run. But that don't mean I have to pass up one last shot at severing heads.
I too.
Same here. I'm not about to lose to a death-happy scumbag. I've also got an overly eager fan here who strayed from the light. And it's up to me to set him straight.
Good to see that fiery spirit hasn't faded one bit. Bring it on, lady!
The two of them excel in both physical strength and agility. They are formidable opponents indeed.
We'll be counting on your support too, Master.
I'll do my best.
And I will do the same.
I'll take you on.
I dare you to beat these fists.
Last round, let's make it a fun one!
Activating drive.
Perfect chance! There! Activating skill.
last legs. Time to go all out. Yeah! Getting to the good part. Move, Aaron.
No, you don't! I won't hold back. One skill coming right up. Target locked. They're stunned. One skill coming right up.
Can't complain.
You've got a whole lot more to answer for than what you did to my bros. I mean, you guys blew up an entire village. I'd rather you reflect on your actions and pay your dues by sitting your ass in jail.
I'm surprised to hear that. Your self-restraint is commendable. If only the young people back home. No, I'm sure they don't need that.
Guard of a prince, yeah? Guess the two of us weren't all that different. Though his home's still rebuilding itself, and if he's lucky, the guy can rebuild his future right alongside it. Well then, I think it's about time for me to mosey on over to the great beyond.
I'll be real with you. I was dreading the rematch with you more than anyone else. Your halberd's a force to be reckoned with, and you've had a long-ass time to train.
It's a wild ride from start to finish. Had a pretty damn good leading lady, too. Loved every minute. Never liked having such a long lease on life, but seeing that might have made living all these long, unnecessary years worth it in the end.
The fact that you all defeated both of them at once speaks volumes about your growth.
Sure hope so.
Welcome, friends. How good of you to come. You sure took your sweet, sweet time. What's wrong? Lost your sense of urgency now that the countdown has stopped?
Screw off.
I've been looking forward to beating your ass.
You're going to pay for everything you've done.
You've heard everyone here. Reset and Fairy in particular.
Melchior is a criminal of the highest order. He and Dantes have done much evil, and will likely go on to do more if we do not stop them in their tracks.
I bet the destruction of Cray was your handiwork too. Even if you yourself didn't pull the trigger, you drafted the plan personally. Tell me.
Draft the plan. I dotted the I's and crossed every T. Only I could have envisioned such a marvelously devious scheme. Much to my delight, that wonderful little village was a rare model of racial harmony as well. The boss was beside himself with joy when I told him of my plan. We had to deliver results to our investors, and we did so by wiping Cray off the map. Eau Claire's in particular was gold. You should have seen him. He went as white as a sheet, and his voice was quavering like a little girl. I can hardly believe the famous Beauty's blade is his offspring. She's rather lucky she doesn't take after.
Shut up. In my line of business, I deal with so-called bad people on the regular. I don't discriminate, as long as they've got some sense of right and wrong. I'm willing to take work from hell, even the society. My door's open to them all. Not you, though. You're a special kind of bad. You didn't just cross the line. You obliterated it. Then you and your boss continued on your merry way like nothing ever happened. I know the Oathbreaker is partly to blame for how you turned out since he abandoned you and all, but frankly, I don't give a single shit about that. All I care about now is sending your ass on a one-way trip to hell. I've heard enough of your goddamn voice. You son of a...
What does he mean by empty shell?
As I feared.
I may not be privy to the finer points of your relationship to the boss, but I stumbled upon a rather enlightening detail about that very subject. You were once held in one of the DG cult's lodges. Couple that with the knowledge that the boss was one of its high priests, and it's easy to imagine what exactly went down between you two.
He stabbed himself?
Wait! You aren't.
Oh, but I am. If you offer up your life within Pandemonium, you will be reborn as an undead.
This is eerily reminiscent of the Immortals and the Great Twilight.
So that is how Dante still lives.
No, this might be even worse.
Oh, yes, I heard about that beast. If I'm not mistaken, it appeared in a similar manner 40 years ago. Though it would have been limited in what it could do. I have become one with Pandemonium itself, so I can run wild to my heart's content. Now then, it is time for the event of the century. The prelude of everything as we know it. Before the world is devoured by darkness, I'll enjoy a most wondrous feast. I'm going to dine on your blood.
He's about to attack!
You are not taking a bite out of me!
You bastard! Don't let him get the upper hand! We're gonna trounce this psycho!
I guess this is where we say goodbye.
I shall handle this. Energy output maximum. Activating skill. All or nothing. Cosmos Holy Ruin. Boost gauge limit removed.
You're joking.
I trust you understand what happens when an undead has been vanquished?
Time for you to accept your fate.
Oh, but the party had only just gotten started. What a bummer. Oh well. The boss's plan will come to fruition all the same. He will make sure the whole world is engulfed in pandemonium. Or perhaps you will spread it in his place.
What a ridiculous notion. Van would never do such a thing.
Exactly. Whatever happens, we'll overcome this ordeal together.
Yep, just like we always have.
Damn, guys.
Has in store. I hope it involves all of you suffering the most gruesome deaths imaginable. I want you all to succumb to fear and despair.
And I want you to shut up and go to hell already. Oh, and before you do, let me ask you one thing real quick. We got a message from someone by the name of C. Was that you?
Oh, I had nearly forgotten about that.
Boss, I'll let your imaginations run wild from there. Don't trouble your pretty little heads about it, though. After all, you'll be dead soon enough.
Creepy to the bitter end.
That's a silly question. Of course he would.
It's very much in character for him.
Either way, we're gonna have to put a pin in the whole thing with C. Now that everyone's least favorite nutcase is down, all we gotta do is take out the mastermind. And once we've returned the city to normal, life will all go back to the way it was. We're almost at the finish line, gang. We just gotta make one last sprint to the end. I can see Mr. Prez sliding us a big, fat paycheck under the table after all's said and done.
It does, and I'm sure Dad will compensate us. After all, he did say we can consider this a job from him.
We're due a proper celebration when this comes to an end.
Agreed. I suggest we go all out, and aim to make our gathering the other day look modest by comparison.
Yeah. Sounds like the perfect time to crack open some cold ones.
Oh, I didn't take you for a beer drinker. All the ones I know are old men.
I mean, we can all get some wine and champagne together.
But I'm a minor.
All right, time for the final stretch. We've got a Genesis to claim and a Dante's to thresh.
Right.
Hell yeah! Let's rock!
The song from Tingo's recording? That's right. It's called La Aracianes. It was a popular song during the revolution a century ago.
I believe they once considered making it the official national anthem of Calvard.
Yeah, but they decided against it. They went with Swear on the White Cloves instead.
We didn't come here for a history lesson, you prick.
Lion.
I have cast that name aside. You would do well to forget it.
The past is a matter of great import on this particular occasion, so I'm afraid I can't do that. And I can't forget yours either, Anya's Gramhar. You may hide under a false self-serving political decisions. That's part of why I believed there was room for negotiation between us, but that ship has sailed.
I'm sorry, what?
The President of the Republic would never cut a deal with a man who wiped out an entire village.
Especially when it's his people. My father wouldn't stoop to your level.
I wouldn't be so sure of that if I were you. I've heard rumors that he entered into an agreement with the Society. But let's put that...
So she's not a blood relative of Epstein. You really like getting under people's skin, don't you, Dantes? Actually, what do we even call you now? Don Dantes? His Highness Prince Dantes? Or High Priest Dantes of the DG cult? While we're at it, let me ask you something else. Back in Aracion, it didn't seem like you knew for sure that I was your target. But that's changed now, hasn't it? Have you been
focal point? My primary goal is, and always was, to create and spread pandemonium throughout the world. My ambitions lie beyond the ruined kingdom and the fallen cult. Even Armada was simply a means to an end. The day I stole this power from you, my very reason for being changed forever. A world hinged on lies. And I will do so by taking the form of ultimate fear.
You're gonna do what now? Wait. Hold up.
What did you mean by the day I stole this power from you.
You saying you took something of Van's? What for?
It all began 11 years ago, when I received a curious report from one of our lodges. They captured a boy who was born with a demonic element, and they were attempting to extract it by any means necessary. The members of the DG cult were out of their minds. Not that I'm in a position to judge, of course. It was a forbidden fruit that was ripe for the taking. So naturally, I seized it. I told them to hand it over, and they couldn't very well refuse the request of Calvardian royalty and their high priest. Before that day, I had no dreams nor ambitions to speak of. I led a hollow existence. I welcomed it into my body, and then I was reborn. Eventually, the cult came under fire by the Society, and then it was nearly annihilated by a large-scale operation led by a famous bracer. But I began my life anew in the Mafia. I deceived Armada's witless leader with ease and put him to the sword. Then I gathered minions who would do my bidding, including Melchior, who hailed from the group that was birthed by my former abode.
Van, I had no idea those lost 7 years were filled with so much trauma.
Had lost the will to live, and then treated his physical and mental wounds. 4 years later, our paths crossed once more, while he was wandering aimlessly after dropping out of school.
Bet you regret bumping into me after all the trouble I caused you from that point on.
You went through all that too, Van?
Huh? Too?
Sorry for not coming clean about this sooner, Catra.
Shoulders I can lean on. I have many people whom I treasure dearly. But isn't that the same for you? You have many loved ones in your life who will support you however they can.
Yeah. I'm thankful for all the people who have stuck by my side. And I should thank you for the long-winded exposition, Dantes. Say, have you ever considered a career in film? You'd make a half-decent narrator. You're letting those badass vocal cords go to waste. Why don't you ditch this Mafia gig and shoot for a big debut on the big screen? I'll even set you up with Gotti. Who knows? Maybe you'll land yourself a starring role in a sexy romance flick with Judith.
Oh, hell no!
Ridiculous. I can never return to an ordinary life in this world, nor do I have any desire to.
What the hell is that?
That sword is covered in ominous miasma.
It's those glyphs again!
So you've become an undead too?
That can only mean one thing. You definitely perished that day in the palace.
That village made for the perfect sacrificial lamb. And like a lamb to the slaughter, you, Arkride, the owner of this core, heard my call, followed me into the city, and plunged your sword into my chest. Thanks to you, I have been reborn as an undead, and now I wield the power to use the Genesis to
Crush their hopes and dreams for such a stupid, selfish reason?
I thought Melchior was the lowest of the low. But clearly I was wrong!
I'm sorry, Dantes.
What?
I'm I'm guessing you weren't always quite this twisted. What happened to Cray, Dingo, and those who died in Arasion? And even Pandemonium itself. All comes back to one troublesome punk.
Van, that's not...
That's bullshit and you know it.
This isn't your fault, Van.
The world does not revolve around you, Van Arkride. I have walked this path of my own free will, and every choice I've made has been mine, and mine alone. How dare you imply otherwise? I will not stand to be pitied by the likes of you. Once you finally breathe your last, the final factor will be unleashed. At long last, you will finally be mine, empty husk.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
The crap that's coming out of your mouth is as dumb as your hair, asshole!
We cannot and will not overlook what you are saying about Mr. Arkwright.
You take those words back! I won't stand for you calling Van an empty husk. He's a wonderful human being. And he's someone who is dear to us all.
Now that I know you're beyond saving, I can take comfort in finishing you off one last time. And I'm not just doing that to get my core back. It's a Spriggan's job to take out power-hungry bastards when no one else can!
How amusing! I look forward to seeing you try!
Give me your worst.
Time to bring an end to this charade.
Time to go all out.
Your turn. Eat this. Finish. Here goes. Take this. Got you. You're screwed now.